I welcome you to Elite Biology Channels. Okay, real quick, we're going to be looking at the NECO biology specimen. We're going to look at the specimen. We're going to talk about likely questions that will come out. So, I'm going to be using my screen. So I will be, showing you what I've jotted down, some important points that I wrote down, likely questions. So, by God's grace, hope it helps. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so if you look at the screen, you can see biology NECO. Okay, specimen A to N. It's quite lengthy. Specimen A, we have land snail. Specimen B, toad. Specimen C, spider. Specimen D, crayfish. Specimen E, Spirogyra filament. Specimen F, mucor or Rhizopus. Specimen G, groundnut seedling, a week old. Specimen H, maize seedling, a week old as well. Specimen I, microscope. Specimen J, slide. Specimen K, pigeon. Specimen L, Agama lizard. Specimen M, rat. And specimen N, Tilapia. Okay, so we have roughly, you can see it's quite bulky, so we have a lot to cover. So we're going to be very quick. Okay, so we'll start with specimen A, which is snail, land snail. So let me zoom to the diagram I drew. Yeah, the drawing is wonderful, but you get the point. So it's just the basic labeling. We have tentacles, eye stalk, the genital opening, the collar, the shell, the foot. So this is just the basic. I think this is one of the simplest. In case they tell you to draw, the land snail and label, you can do this. You can learn the diagram. Okay. So let's move to some details I want you to know. They don't normally ask scientific name, but I just wrote it down. The scientific name is Achatina achatina. Achatina achatina. Okay. The kingdom is animal kingdom. Animal kingdom. Animalia. Animalia. The phylum. So yeah, the phylum is mollusca. Okay. Snails are invertebrates. Okay. Yeah, they're invertebrates. Let's look at the observable features. Let me zoom in. So we have the observable features of a snail. The first one, number one, I wrote, the body consists of head, foot, and mantle enclosed by shell. So in case they ask you the structural features or observable features, okay, you can write that down. Number two, there is a pair of eye stalk. If you remember the diagram, you can see it right here, eye stalk. Okay, that was the emphasis. Okay, there is a pair of eye stalk. Number two. Number three, there is a pair of tentacles. Number four, there is an opening called anus. Okay. Number five, the feet is soft and contains mucus that lubricates for easy movement. So that's five. You can learn three. Practicals, they do not really ask you to mention a lot, three, four, thereabout. So just get that. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is the economic importance of snails. Okay, the first one is number one. Let me zoom in. Number one, they serve an important role in the ecosystem. Okay. Number two, they eat very low on the food web, so they do not really consume like that. Number three, they are rich source of nutrients when eaten. Yes, they are a rich source of food. They are source of income. Okay, you can also write they are source of food. Okay, yeah. So in case they ask you, I didn't write that down, I just thought about it now. In case they ask you the class of a snail, it's gastropoda. Gastropoda. Okay? Gastropoda. All right? Yeah. Now, let's go back up to the specimen. If you look at this specimen, you can see that we have a lot of animals there. Okay? So the questions will be emphasized on the classification of living things. That is Carolus Linnaeus classification. If you remember, kingdom, Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. So that is basically what the focus on this particular NECO will be about. Yes. And when you see the animals, the likes of snails, toads, spider, crayfish, pigeons, agama lizard, rat, tilapia, they are going to want to make you compare them. So it's very important you know their classes, you know their phylum, you know their kingdom. We're going to be looking at them one by one. So that is basically what is about the snail. Okay, the snail. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we have specimen B. Specimen B, we have toad. Okay, we have toad. The toad. Yes, that's specimen B. So that's the diagram. Let me zoom in. So we have the diagram here. We have the eye. We have the nursery, the mouth. Sorry about that. We have the eye, the nostril. We have the tympanium. That's the eardrum. You can say eardrum. It doesn't matter. We have the forelimb. Okay. We have the trunk. We have the hind limb. Sorry, I put E there. There's no E in limb. Okay. So let's go to let's look at it. So we have the kingdom. The firstly kingdom. Kingdom, it's an animalia. It belongs to kingdom Animalia. The phylum is a Chordata or Chordata. That is vertebrate. It's a vertebrate. Okay, it has backbone. Class Amphibia. The habitat. Okay, terrestrial, habitat or wetland. Wetland, a moist land. Yeah. Yes, snails, they also stay in a moist land. Okay, so that's the similarities they have with toad in that aspect. So there are some things I put here to note. They undergo complete metamorphosis. Okay, that is, they start from egg, to larva, to those stages. So they undergo complete metamorphosis. So let's look at the structural features of toad. Okay, you can also say it's the adaptive feature, how to aid it survive. So number one, it has flat head, neck absent. Number two, forelimbs are shorter. It has shorter forelimbs with unwebbed digit. So it doesn't have web digit on the forelimb. That's the hands, so to say. Number three, well-developed hind limb. Okay, the hind limb is webbed. That's what it uses for swimming. The hind limb, okay, that's what it uses for hopping. Number four, eardrum present, sticky tongue. It has sticky tongue, okay. Number five, pair of bulging eyes. Okay, so I put some other, I said note. You should read living things. Okay, go back to it and just go to glance through it. So toad, there are some things you should know about toad. Toads are oviparous. What does that mean? They give birth to their young ones dead. They lay eggs. Okay, they perform external fertilization. It's right here. External fertilization. Okay, and they are also poikilothermic. You know what that means? They are cold-blooded. Okay, their temperature depends on their environment. They are not warm like us, we humans or mammals or aves. Okay, so they are poikilothermic. That is, they are cold-blooded. They do not have parental cares. So what am I saying this? In case they ask you to differentiate between toad and maybe pigeon or rat. Okay, these are things to consider. We are going to look at theirs as well anyway. So yeah, so let me go back to the normal size. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next one. Spider, specimen C is spider. So let me zoom it here. So we have spider. Yes, I know my spider is wonderful. Manage it like that. All right. So we have the spider. We have basic diagrams and the basic labeling. We have legs. You can put, okay, I didn't label eye. Just can put 8 simple eyes. Okay. You can put we have the abdomen. We have the abdomen. Okay, the spider is made up of 2 parts, cephalothorax and abdomen. Okay, cephalothorax and abdomen. So this is the spider. This is just the diagram in case they ask you to draw it. So the kingdom. The first one is kingdom. It belongs to kingdom Animalia. The phylum is an arthropod. That is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. Okay, arthropodas. The class is an arachnida. Arachnida, the habitat, terrestrial, stays on land, arboreal, that's trees. Okay, let's look at the structural features of spider. Number 1, the body is divided into 2, like I said. Let me zoom in. The body is divided into 2. The prosoma and the opistosoma. Okay, if in case you forget that, you can just say the body is divided into 2 to make it easy. Number 2, wing absent. Okay, it doesn't have wing. Number 3, 8 simple eyes. Number 4, no antenna. It doesn't have antenna. Number 5, 4 pairs of walking legs. That is, if you count a spider's leg, there's 8. It has 8 legs. Okay, good. So let's look at the economic importance of spider. Number 1, spider, it scavenges other insects for food. Okay. Number 2, the network of silk disturbs movement at home. You know how the web is a nuisance in your various homes. Number 3, it is poisonous when it bites a human being. Okay. I also put note here. You should read the differences and similarities between the various living things in the specimen. Like I said, once you just know their structural feature, once you know where they belong, it's very easy to differentiate them. It's not actually hard at all. Okay. Just look at their kingdoms. Look at the kingdoms and you'll be able to, compare. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Specimen D, crayfish. Okay. So that's the diagram of the crayfish. Simple. We have the eye, we have the antenna, we have the abdomen, and we have the swimmeret. Okay. So let's go straight to it. So the first one is kingdom, Animalia, obviously. The phylum, Arthropoda. It's also an insect. Okay, Arthropoda, it belongs to the Arthropoda phylum. The class is a crustacean. The habitat, aquatic. Okay, it stays in water. The structural features of a crab. Number 1, it is J-shaped. Okay. Number 2, the body is divided into 2. Okay, you can say 2. All right. Into 2. The cephalothorax and the abdomen. Just like the spider is also divided into 2. Okay. Number 3, there is compound eyes. Number 4, absence of wing. Number 5, 1 pair of antennas. Okay, so in case they ask you to differentiate, like I said, look at the structural features. What this one doesn't have, this one has. What this one, you don't understand. Okay, so let's go to the economic importance of crayfish. It's a source of food, source of income, and source of nutrient. Okay, so that's basically it. So let's go to the next one, specimen E. Specimen E is Spirogyra filament. So let's look at it. So this is the simplest way. I know the drawing is funny, but this is the simplest one I could get. So just basic. We have the cell wall, we have the cytoplasm, we have the chloroplast, we have the nucleus, we have the cytoplasmic strands. So that's the diagram. So let's go to kingdom. It belongs to kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista. Okay. The phylum is Chlorophyta. The class is Zygnematophyceae. This way. Habitat aquatic. It stays in wet, it stays in water. You can find it in stagnant water. Reproduction is both asexual and sexual. Okay, both asexual and sexual. Okay, the sexual is called conjugation. Okay. If they ask you the mode of nutrition, Spirogyra can perform both autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. So keep that in mind. So the structural features of Spirogyra, let's look at it. Basic, just what you have here in the diagram is basically the structural feature. So just say presence of vacuole, presence of cytoplasm. It consists of thin unbranched chains of cylindrical cells. You can also say number 4, presence of chloroplast for the sake of photosynthesis. Okay, so let's go to the economic importance. Number 1 is a source of food. Don't ask me. It is actually a source of food. Number 2, source of nutrients, carbohydrates, vitamins. They increase oxygen level in their habitat. They can be used in culturing as growth medium. Okay, they can be used in the lab as growth medium for microorganisms. Okay, so that's it. So let's move to the next one. Specimen F, we have mucor. Specimen F is mucor. So let's zoom in and let's see it. So the first labeling to your left is sporangium. Sorry, in case you cannot see it. Sporangium. Okay. The one that is busted is sporangiospores. Then we have the we have the stolon, and we have the rhizoid. This simple diagram. So let's go to the kingdom. It's kingdom fungi. Okay. The division is Mucoromycota. Okay. So I wrote here, note the similarities and differences between Spirogyra and Rhizopus. Okay. The differences between Spirogyra and Rhizopus is very easy. What is the difference? The difference is Spirogyra Spirogyra is actually, okay, no, they are both, the similarities that both of them are, they are both Spirogyra is protista actually. The difference is that Spirogyra is protista, while mucor or rhizopus is a fungi. Okay, yeah. Spirogyra nutrition is autotrophic and heterotrophic, while Rhizopus one is saprophyte. It's a saprophyte. It feeds on dead organic matters. It's a decomposer. Okay. Yeah. You can also say Spirogyra has chloroplast. It can perform photosynthesis, while Rhizopus cannot. So that's the difference. The similarities is that what? The similarities is they are both found on they are both found in wet places. They're both found in wet places. Okay. Yeah. They're both found in wet places. And they both are, they both can perform heterotrophic nutrition. Yes. Okay. So I wrote here note. They are decomposers. Yes, or saprophytes. That is rhizopus. Let's look at the economic importance. Number one, they break down organic matters. Okay, they are decomposers. Number two, they are used in making bread, beer, cheeses. Please, you can break these things into different parts. You can say they are used in making bread. Number three, they are used in making beers or alcohol drink. Number three, they are used to make cheese. Okay, so number three, they are used in making antibiotics. Okay, yeah, or drugs. So let's go to specimen G. That's groundnut seedling, a week old. So let's zoom into it. So we have this is a groundnut seed that is splitting open. We have the epicotyl, we have the cotyledons, we have the hypocotyl. So let's look at the kingdom Plantae. The phylum is a vascular plant. Yes. The class, or you can say the class of fruits is a legume. Or if they ask you what is the botanical classification of groundnut, you can say it's a spermatophyta. Okay? Yeah. If they ask you agricultural classification based on agricultural classification is a legume. It's equally still a legume. The agent of dispersal, explosive mechanism. Okay. So let's look at the structural features. Number one, you can use what is here. You can say there's the presence of epicotyl. It has two cotyledons, and then it has hypocotyl. You can write that, or you can write there is one longitudinal plane. Fruit develop from the receptacle. Number three, they are root and tuber crops. You can write that if you want to. So down here, I put there's a likely possibility that they will ask you the difference between groundnut and maize, since maize is specimen H. So I put it right here. Obviously, groundnut, number one, groundnut is a dicotyledon or dicot. Maize is a monocot. Groundnut is a 2-seed leaf. Maize is 1-seed leaf. Groundnut performs epigeal germination. You know what that means? It brings out the seed. The seed it rises above the floor. It comes out to the surface. Okay, why maize one is hypogeal. The seed stays inside the soil. Number four, source of protein for groundnut. Why for maize, source of carbohydrate. Groundnut is a legume crop. Why maize is a cereal crop. So the economic importance of groundnut is source of income, source of nutrients, source of protein. Okay, so I wrote it down here. Like I said, the botanical classification is a spermatophyta. I put it here. The agricultural classification is a pulse. The life cycle, annual crop. It grows in one growing season. Okay, so that's it. So let's move to the next slide. So we have specimen H. We have maize seedling, 1 week old. So let's look at the diagram. Let me zoom in. Okay, so as you can see, this is the diagram. Okay, we have the leaf. Those are, you can say, the true leaf, first leaf, second leaf, third leaf. We have the nodal root. We have the seed, or you can call it cotyledon. And we have the radicle. That's the root. Okay, so let me zoom out. Let me go to the kingdom. Here we have the kingdom. We have kingdom Plantae. Okay, the phylum is a vascular plant. The class of fruit, this is under, if they ask you as regarding fruits, okay, it's a caryopsis. The agent of dispersal, man. Okay, now botanical classification, spermatophyta. Agricultural classification is a cereals. Life cycle, annual crop. Okay, all right. So the structural features, it is one seeded fruit. Okay, number two, pericarp and seed coat, they are fused together. Number three, the remains of the style is present. Okay, So I wrote down here, note similarities between specimen G and H. Very easy. If you go up here, you can see that they both beans, groundnut and maize, they are both annual crops. They are both spermatophytes. Okay, they are both vascular plants, and they belong to what? Plant kingdom plantae. So that's the similarities. So let's go to the importance of maize: source of income, source of carbohydrate, used for making cereals. Okay, cereals products. Okay, so we're moving to specimen I. That's the microscope. So the diagram is a bit okay. So let me just start from okay. If you look up, you can see this one. This one is called eyepiece. You can check, diagram online. You will see it there. You see this is the coarse adjustment, the body tube, the nose piece. Let me zoom out so you can see it well. The nose piece, the eye power objective, the low power objective. Basically, this is the diagram of microscope. So let's go to the function. Microscope is used to observe and visualize tiny organisms. That's microorganism. The branch of biology that is most relevant with microscope is microbiology. Okay? Yes. So let's look at parts. If you look here, you have parts. They can ask you some parts and functions of microscope. So we have stage. Let me zoom in. Number one is stage. Okay? This is where the slide is kept and viewed. Okay? Number two, we have the stage clip. This is what holds the slide in. Number three, we have the objective lens. This is where the specimens are viewed. Okay? The specimens are viewed. Number four, we have the eyepiece lens. This is where observers look from. This is where they look through. Number five, we have the base. That's the support of the microscope. Okay? That's the support of the microscope. Number six, we have tube. Tube connects the eyepiece to the objective lens. Number seven, we have the coarse adjustment. It moves the stage up and down. Okay. We have the fine adjustment. It's used to focus the microscope lens. Number nine, we have the nose piece. It turns the objective lens. So that's basically it. So here I wrote note, read maintenance of microscope. But let me just say it. Okay, make sure you clean. You make sure you keep the microscope in a dry, a dry, neat place. You dust with linen clothing. Okay, you keep it back in its box after use. Avoid water from touching it. Okay, lubricate the moving parts regularly so as to avoid wear and tear. All right, so that's basically it. Okay, so we're done with microscope. Let's move to specimen J. That's slide. The slide is just a triangular transparent glass. It's what you put on the microscope. That is where you put your sample. That is where you put the microorganism you want to view on. Okay, so this is a thin flat piece of glass. Okay, thin flat piece of glass. All right, so the function is used to hold object for examination under a microscope. That's the function. It is used to hold objects for examination under a microscope. So note, I wrote note. The likely question will be for you to put Spirogyra or Rhizopus in the slide and examine the structural features. But rest assured, as I've already given you the structural features of both Spirogyra and Rhizopus, so make sure you learn it. Okay. So we move to the next one, specimen K, pigeon. This is a diagram of a bird, pigeon bird. Basic labeling: the beak, the nostril, the eye, the head, the digit, the claw, the feathers, and the tail. Okay. Okay. So the kingdom, Animalia. The phylum is a chordata. That is a vertebrate. It has backbone. It has backbone. The class is Aves. Habitat, arboreal. That's tree. Now they might ask you to give similarities or differences between toad and birds. Okay. The similarities is that they are both oviparous. They both give birth. The young ones dead. Okay. They are both vertebrates. They are chordatas. All right. Yeah. So that's basically the similarities. Okay. So let's look at the structural features of a bird. Basic: pointed beak to pick grains or tiny food particles. Number 2, possession of feathers for flight. Okay. And temperature regulation. Number 3, possession of light bones for flight. Okay. Number 4, possession of eye, nostril, scaly legs for insulator. All right. Now, let's look at the details about it. Number 1, the note is an oviparous. Yes, because it gives birth to young ones dead. It has parental care. Yes, birds have parental care. They take care of their youngs, unlike toads, unlike lizards, unlike fishes. They take care of their young ones. That's one of the similarities they share with mammals. Later, you will find out that rats and birds, that's their similarities. They both have parental care. And they are both homeothermic. That's warm-blooded. Remember, I said toad is poikilothermic. That's cold-blooded. But birds are warm-blooded. They are actually warm. Okay? All right. Now, basically, it's not hard. What they will do is they'll simply ask you, the similarities between, these different creatures and the differences. For example, birds and lizards now, what's their similarities? They both have scales. Birds have scale on their legs. They are both chordatas. They both belong to the animal kingdom. Very easy. Okay? Now, still under notes for pigeon. It performs internal fertilization, unlike toad. It performs what? Internal fertilization. Okay? Now, economic importance. Source of food, source of income. It serves as pet. That's number 3. Number 4, it serves as a messenger. Okay, so that's basically it. So we'll move to the next one. Specimen L, that's the Agama lizard. So look at the diagram. Oh, very wonderful. So we have the head, we have the neck, we have the trunk, we have the eye, the nostril, the eardrum, we have the digits, the forelimb, hind limb, the scales, and the tail. Okay, so let's look at the kingdom. Kingdom Animalia. The phylum is a chordata. The class, let's zoom in. It's a reptilia. The habitat, terrestrial. So let's look at the structural features. Number 1, possession of bright head color for courtship display. Okay, bright head color for courtship display. Number 2, possession of scales for protection. Number 3, possession of digits for movement. That's the limb, forelimb or hind limb for movement. Number 4, possession of claws for climbing walls and trees. Number 5, possession of tails for defense against other lizards. They're easy to fight. Okay, so note, it's an oviparous, just like birds, just like toad. They lay egg, and even fish, they lay eggs. The only one that doesn't lay egg is mammals. Internal fertilization. Okay, that's the reproduction. Internal fertilization. The next one is no parental care. They don't care for their youngs. And it's also poikilothermic. It's cold-blooded. It's similar to toads and fish in that aspect. And, they are cold-blooded. poikilothermic. So I wrote here, note the differences between Pisces, amphibians, reptile, aves, and mammals. Yes, you should note the differences. Okay? If you observe Pisces, amphibian, reptiles, they are all cold-blooded. They are poikilothermic. They are oviparous. Okay? Why Pisces and amphibians, they have scales. They both have scales. Aves share something with Pisces, amphibian, and reptiles. What do they share? They are also oviparous, and it has scales just like reptile. Okay, and it belongs to the animal kingdom, and it's a chordata. It has bone. Mammals and aves, they share something in common. They both have parental cares. They are both warm-blooded, homeothermic. They are chordatas, and they belong to animal kingdom. So it's very easy. So you can go back and listen to what I said. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Specimen M, that's rat. So the rat is, this is how you draw a rat, but don't draw it outside the box. So okay, so we have the eye, we have the ear, we have the nose, we have the whiskers, we have the forelimb, the hind limb, we have the tail. Okay, so let's go to it. So kingdom Animalia, it's a kingdom Animalia. The phylum Chordata. Class Mammalia. This is the only mammal in the equation. Habitat terrestrial. Okay, so structural features. Tail has thermoregulatory function, that is heat loss organ. Number 2, whiskers serves as sensory organs for nocturnal animals. Their whiskers is for sensory, especially in the night. Nocturnals are animals that walk at night. Number 3, the fur is to maintain the animal body temperature. Okay, yeah, you can even add the possession of fur and hind limbs for quick movement. So let's look at the note. It's a viviparous. Viviparous give birth to their young ones alive. That's mammals. Okay. Number 2, internal fertilization. Okay. Parental care presence. Homeothermic is homeothermic. That is warm-blooded. Warm-blooded. Okay. So let's move to the last one. Specimen N, the tilapia. Okay. Tilapia, we have eyes. Look at the diagram. Let me zoom in. The eyes, the dorsal fin, that's the one above. We have the lateral lines. We have scales. We have pelvic fin, anal fin. This one is called the operculum. Operculum. That's where respiration takes place. Then we have the mouth. Okay. So let's look at the kingdom. Kingdom Animalia. The phylum Chordata. The class Pisces. Habitat aquatic. The economic importance: source of food, source of protein, source of income. Okay, yeah. So the structural features: fins for movement and balance. Okay. Number 2, possession of lateral lines to detect vibration while in water. Okay. Number 3, streamlined bodies for easy movement. Streamlined bodies for easy movement. Number 4, mouth and nostrils are present. Number 5, presence of scales, operculum and gills. Number 6, body divided into head, trunk, tails. Please note, you don't have to know everything. Just know 3. You understand? Know 3 and get it. Okay? Note, it's oviparous. They lay eggs. They give their young ones dead. It doesn't have parental care. This is the only one that has external fertilization. Sorry. It and toad. If they ask you the similarities between fish and toad, they both perform external fertilization. That's one of the similarities they share. They are both cold-blooded, poikilothermic. They are chordatas, and they belong to kingdom Animalia. Okay? And they don't have parental care. So, fish and amphibian, they are really, really close. And it's poikilothermic. That's cold-blooded. So we've come to the conclusion of the basic, I'm just giving you a run through on what you are to expect, but you are also expected to, do more research, read. Like I said, go through classification of living things. Go and read it. Read the kingdom, especially kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Okay, kingdom Plantae, where you have Talophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and Spermatophyta. Okay, why for the kingdom Animalia we have the invertebrates and the vertebrates. Go through them. Okay, especially the area of the ones of concerns, the spiders, the crayfish, and everything. Just go through it. All right. So thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. God bless you. Take care.